Alright, but you ready? Alright, so you already saw me do the Resident Evil one. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to make a tier list. Now, before we start, I'm going to tell you what it is. And then you tell me, should we have an F, or we remove, or I mean, should we have an E, or we remove it and we keep it with S, A, B, C, D,
Wait, so
F.
these are like game series.
It's pretty much, it could be anything.
Oh.
But this one, I
Okay,
wanted
so
to wait.
depending on the series and how many games.
That's what I'm gonna show. That's why I figured. Let me tell you first.
Because depending on like the genre or the fucking thing, for instance, there should be like a really bad level. I'd say E because of fucking Dance Dance Revolution. E is just like that grade you did not want.
Jesse, you should probably fix it because I'm talking, but literally.
I would put. Wait, does F have to be? Does F have to be after E?
No, I can move it, but
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Do you want me to? Do you want me to remove E and just leave F?
No, put E under F. E is the games that just like do not touch them. They're bullshit.
That okay? That makes more of a solid point.
F is just like this game is just play it if you need to. Don't actually play it. E should be like.
How about now, Jesse?
E should stand for should not exist.
Okay, so here is what we're going to be doing. The list for this one.
E is definitely.
I was like, I saw this list. I'm like, we gotta do this.
Here's the thing, though. I haven't played some of these.
But that's, I mean.
I know what platform some of them are.
Okay,
I've heard about
so
them.
here's what I did. As long as you know, like, what they are, we'll rate it off of that. But for anything that we really, really, really don't know, I guess we'll just leave it under. I mean, I could turn E
Where
into.
The fuck's 20?
Where's WrestleMania 20?
2K.
2K20? It's not on the list.
Good, because that would have been the first E.
All right, so let me rewrite E as do not touch. Real quick. Label name. Let's see. Wait.
Or just write should not exist.
Well, let me. Oh, there we go. Do not touch. Do not touch. Do not touch.
Should not exist.
Okay, so do not touch. Should we add one more saying we don't know?
No.
Okay, so just leave it like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can guess somewhere to put them because some of them are just rewriting of the games or just on different platforms.
Okay.
Like for instance, where is it? WrestleMania 19 is basically Here Comes the Pain for Xbox.
Okay. Literally, I saw this. I was like, yeah, we definitely got to do this because we've been through half of this stuff. We've been through half of it.
Is that the Game Boy version?
Yeah, the Game Boy version. Yeah.
Oh, I'm about to say.
It's everything is included here. Pretty much every wrestling game that has ever been, even Legends of WrestleMania is in here. The only game that's not in here is 2K20 because that's invalid. That was this year, so that does not count. So literally, so you're gonna see titles in here. I know you know half, like almost 70% of these games, 80% of these games. So don't worry, Jesse, just follow through. So, all right. So should we go with the do not touch first?
No, because I have to rewrite. Okay, so I would put.
All right, so pick. Literally, we're not gonna go all the way up until we start, dividing. So
I'm looking at games and realizing which ones do I definitively know belong in what category. For instance, 2008.
wait, 2008? Where? Which one?
SmackDown vs. Raw.
SmackDown vs. Raw 2008.
F.
Where's 2008?
It's right next to 12.
Oh, this one. F. Any reasons why?
Because the fucking battle system was fucked up, the overall system was shitty, the season mode was bullshit, the calendar mode was basically season mode just for stupidity. 2009 basically fucking made the calendar mode better.
Pretty much we're gonna be explaining.
And the fucking roster was confusing. Don't even get me started on the creative fucking entrances. They fucking glitched every time you try to put fireworks. They fucking all you have to do is pick fireworks and then boom, they showed up, but you can't fucking place them anymore.
So I guess I'll choose the next one. I'm gonna go with a D on one of them, just because I felt like the game didn't have a lot to offer. I mean, it was completely like it didn't make any understanding. I'm gonna go with Legends of Wrestling for D.
Yeah, I would put
I mean, the only reason it's not an F is because you were able to put your created characters in it, but
Yeah,
that didn't make it
no,
any fun.
I think it was because D. I would put it in D because the wrestling mechanics were bad, but it was still playable. I mean, I didn't like it. It's not something I picked up. I played it whenever Josh and Theo weren't around.
Yeah, that's when we actually played.
And you could actually import the characters because if you had 2000 and this was I don't remember if it was 2010 or 2009. I think it was 2009 that you can branch the rosters.
Mm-hmm.
And you could basically, if you had that game, you could fuse that roster with that roster, and you can import the character you had from that game to that. Yeah, it was 2009. Yeah, because my characters overall couldn't change.
All right.
So yeah, you could branch that, but the mechanics were really bad. But it was still a good game that you could just pick up and play for fucking shits and giggles until like 4 matches after you're just like, yeah, I just want to play 2009.
Okay. All right. That's good enough.
All right, we're gonna stick with D.
Well, you can float around between D and F or do not.
D because that's for the next game.
Oh God, which one?
2K15.
Oh, I gotta hear this one.
2K15. I remember getting it for fucking pre-ordering. It was the first game I ever pre-ordered. And I remember putting it in. I was just so happy. I was like, oh, the music was great. I can't wait to... What do you mean I can't import my own music? Oh, this was the game that started the whole take. You can't import your music. You can't import your logos. You can't do this. You can't do that. They fucking cut down the roster size. They cut down the entrances for the... Basically, this was a no created character zone. But the fact that they updated the rosters, brought NXT into it, then made some fucking... They introduced the whole, oh, we're going to bring in more DLC characters. We're going to bring in better moves. We're going to update things just so you can get a quick hint about what the next game's going to be. It's a nice game. I still played it. I didn't bother creating characters, though. I only created mines. I only created the necessaries. I didn't create Fang's character. I didn't create Lori's character. I didn't create fucking Josh's character. It was a fucking paintball mess. Fucking, it was just... It was basically a no created character zone, and it was just for season. That's basically it. It was just play it for season, play it for the fucking showcase, play it for the NXT roster. That's it. But it was not an F because it was not a bad game.
All right, yeah, it's understandable. Okay, my turn. I see another. I don't know. It's an F or a D. I think you may agree on this one if you know which one I'm thinking about.
No. I would put that at C. I would put that in the middle.
Okay, so let's put it in C, and then maybe give me a reason why, and I guess I'll leave it there.
C because it was you either hated it. No, it was a good and bad year because when it was working, it was a fucking fantastic game. When it wasn't working, it was why the fuck do I keep buying this game?
Because that's the one that kept messing up, wasn't
it? This was the first game. I went through 8 copies of this shit. But when I got to play it, it was worth it. Why? Because it was the first game I bought the DLC to. I bought all the DLC. I bought Too Cool. I bought AJ Lee's first game. I bought fucking... I played the shit out of the fucking Attitude Era fucking storyline that they had there. It was amazing. Amazing. But the fact that it kept crashing, the fact that it kept fucking having bugs, the fact that it wouldn't load, I feel like if there was no getting away from it. But the game itself was very amazing to play because it was only at the end where we started fucking editing shit, and it was just... It basically was the game that started... It was basically the game that fucking made the next game after it the A that it was. The S. The S that it was. Because if it wasn't for that game, the other game wouldn't exist.
Can you guys hear now, guys? I don't know if you guys can hear. So that's your main reason for that one?
Yep.
Okay.
When it wasn't working, it was bullshit. When it was
Well-
working, it was a great game.
So another, I'm not gonna like, but I'm gonna give it to Day of the Reckoning. I'm gonna give it a D. I mean, we saw how the gameplay was. It was kind of okay, but we're not familiar with the mechanics of that game. It felt
Day
like
of the
it could
Reckoning
have.
was for GameCube.
Yeah, we played it. We played it like once or
Yeah,
twice,
we played
but
it once or
we
twice.
enjoyed it, but it wasn't that fun.
I
I mean,
think it only failed because it was for the GameCube. Anybody who basically played this game, the only reason they played this game was
Probably because they
didn't
had-
have the PS2.
yeah.
They didn't have the Xbox to play Raw because Raw was on that's where the Raw games came from. The Raw games belong to Xbox while the SmackDown games belong to PS2 for anybody who didn't know.
I don't know why they're saying that they can't hear you. I hear you perfectly from my side.
But yeah, Raw games were for Xbox. SmackDown games were for PS2. Day of the Reckoning was basically the fucking
You guys need to
cousin.
probably bring up your volume or something. Probably, maybe.
Day of the Reckoning was the cousin that came out for GameCube because it didn't have the mechanics to be fucking SmackDown, didn't have the fucking graphics to be Raw, because Raw's graphics were fucking amazing.
Mm.
And basically it was, what can we do to make this a wrestling game? Put the wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. The game had everything bad that could possibly come out, but it still became a game. So that's probably why it got D. It wasn't terrible, it just wasn't playable. And anybody who played it was because they had the game console to do it on. What?
Andy just got into the chat. Andy, if you want tokens, how about this? If you guys could figure out which one of these games is going to be the S, because me and Boo Boo are probably going to have our own S games. So you're going to have to figure out what's S to you.
I already know what game
And
this
I
is.
already know what's
I'm
mine.
pretty sure you know the same game.
And if we guess at the same time, oh my god. But we'll wait till we get there. If y'all can figure out what is the S game that me and Boo Boo are going to pick, you get 10 P tokens. So keep that in mind. So I would suggest looking at the list. But
And I can tell you, I'm going to be honest, there's at least 3 S games on this fucking roster.
okay, that's fine. I mean, there's no pretty much. Is there? I mean, I guess we just can't have too much because that'll be late. It's gonna be a.
Problem is that those games deserve it.
Yeah,
That's the
it's
problem.
understandable once we get there. So once we see. All right, so I chose Day of the Reckoning. It's your turn. So what do we got? So far, we filled up more of the D's, and we have the F and the C and the do
The
not.
problem is I'm mostly going by my fucking trauma of what games, but we'll change it up. We'll talk about a good game.
I
We'll
mean,
put
let's
2K17 at a B.
at a B.
We'll work our way up.
Okay.
2K17 deserves to be a B.
I mean, 2K17, from what I remember, did have a lot of good stuff when it got to like entrances and stuff and creativity, customization. So I can guess why you chose 17. To be honest,
2K17,
I mean,
yeah, it was good because the rosters were starting to get filled out again. NXT because of 2K16 was still carrying on the NXT shit, but 2K17 got them fucking. They were getting everything right, whether it was the fucking My Career or the My Career that I actually fucking touched, My Career, and then the Universe mode was, oh my god, Universe mode was so fucking playable. 2K17 still is the most time I ever spent playing Universe. I lied. There's another game on this list that I spent more time playing Universe on. But this game is the second game I spent the most time doing Universe on, and the most time I spent editing characters all over the place. Yeah, my characters got better over the years, but this one was, if it wasn't for this one of how good the creative character system was, plus this was also the game that brought back the Dragon Ball Z hair, which was also a fan favorite, and it was the first game that brought in my hairstyle, which I was very appreciative of.
I don't know why there's 2 Day of the Reckoning, so I'll
Because
just put
1 and 2. You put Day of the Reckoning Part 2 first.
I
and
guess
Day of
I'll
the
just
Reckoning
put
1.
them there. Fuck it. It's the
Same
same shit.
reasons.
Same reasons. Yep.
Same reasons. You can't hate them, you can't love them. If you didn't have GameCube, you basically can't really talk about whether they were good or not.
Alright. Let me ask you this question. Do we have one that says "Do not touch"? Because we don't have one yet. Because I can't think of one. I mean, I see a couple of titles in there.
WrestleMania 19.
Which one's that one?
Right next to Here Comes the Pain.
Do not touch this game. Listen to us. We know which one we're talking about.
WrestleMania 19 was so fucking bad. WrestleMania 19 was so fucking bad that they had to drop making wrestling games for a good while before THQ's just like, okay, we have to help Xbox out or WWE's gonna cancel their fucking things. So instead of carrying on the tradition of going through pay-per-views, for those who didn't know, they switched the pay-per-views from the Game Boy platforms because we had a game called WrestleMania 2000, which I'm also pretty sure that's not the Game Boy version. We had a game called WrestleMania 2000 for the Game Boy Color. Then we had WrestleMania 18 for the Game Boy Advance, and then we had Survivor Series for the Game Boy Advance.
Mm-hmm.
WrestleMania 19 was supposed to be for the Game Boy Advance, but Xbox wanted their game to come out with Here Comes the Pain. But what happened was, it was miserable, it was a failure, because any good team person was on Here Comes the Pain. Which Here Comes the Pain came out months after that game, and fucking sent Xbox into a spiral to make their own team to make Raw. Which would go eventually somewhere there.
Alright.
And I have another do not touch, but I'm saving that for later because I have a lot of fucking ranting.
Alright. So, let's see. Alright. So, I'm just gonna put a do not touch because I don't know much of it, so I'm just gonna get it over with. So I'm gonna say WrestleMania 21, unless you've played it. No?
Actually, WrestleMania 21 was pretty. It was okay from what I saw. It's basically a rehash of SmackDown vs. Raw. But I would put WrestleMania 21 in an F. Or maybe a D. Maybe a D. I would give it an F or a D.
Alright, we'll give it the F, since the D is already clogged up right now.
Yeah. I would give it an F because again, same reasons for fucking WrestleMania 19, only WrestleMania 21 was basically a bootlegged version of SmackDown vs. Raw.
Mm-hmm.
And SmackDown vs. Raw was a phenomenal game. WrestleMania 21 was trying to be that game, but the mechanics got jumbled up. The fucking graphics, they weren't as good. But nobody really picked it up. The sales were not that great. And I'm pretty sure Juice had come out right when Xbox was trying to get their shit back together. And fucking
I remember that game.
Why pick up a wrestling game? We've got fucking racing games that are Xbox exclusive. We want to play WrestleMania 21. We'll just play it on PS2. It's better.
Alright.
Alright. We're gonna put Shut Your Mouth in the A slot.
A?
A.
Shut Your Mouth is going on A, people.
Shut Your Mouth. Because SmackDown 1 and SmackDown 2 were so two-sided that you either, again, hated it or loved it. SmackDown Shut Your Mouth got everything right. The graphics were better. The fucking wrestling. What happened?
And he's like, why?
Shut your mouth. It had the NWO. It brought the NWO back. It was Hulk Hogan's first fucking game. The fucking season mode to it was amazing. I played it over and over again. The fucking hardcore matches were to die for. The fucking fact that you can throw somebody off against a steam railing and have them blow to the other side of the fucking screen.
He says, of course, the Seth Rollins fan will put it at an A tier.
There's no Seth Rollins fan, JD, in here. Wait till I get to his. Fucking, but SmackDown Shut Your Mouth was the game that everybody has fond memories of. I still have a copy of it in my fucking room. I spent years trying to get it back, and when I did, I made it was character central. It was essential for me making creative characters. Essential for all of us. That's how we all got started. And it was amazing because you can make Spider-Man, They had the entrances for Spider-Man. You can make Goldberg, who wasn't in the game yet. You can make Rey Mysterio on fucking point because they had the entrances, the masks, the pants, everything. And it was just super fun, fucking hilarious to play.
All right, so I have another one where I'm gonna put an A. This one was a tough choice for me to think about, but I think A is probably the reasonable choice for me. And I'm pretty sure maybe you'll go along with what I'm gonna do here. Maybe you already know, but I'm gonna go with 2006 for me.
Yeah, I would definitely put at the A. Graphics, the fucking season
2006,
again.
Man.
Season. It was also the first game where everybody got a fucking voice. Fucking created characters got a voice.
The season mode in that game was by far one of the greatest I've seen in a long time since then. And I couldn't remember the time when I actually got the game. We couldn't help but wanting to play it like desperately for the PlayStation 2.
Yep.
Oh my god! And then it came out on PSP.
The sad part is, for those of you who don't know, the first time we ever played 2006, it was on a muted PS2 because it had no fucking sound because our uncle fucking AV cables were broken.
Yo, I remember that shit.
So we had to play it in the fucking living room, and the fucking house was silent, and all you could hear is everybody eating.
Oh my god,
and I remember
bro.
we had to play it at Erica's house. And it was just so silent, and Theo I remember the fucking bullshit I had to go through just to get a
sound
character.
Effects.
Theo made me fucking make Casper. As a created character. But yes, 2006 was fucking great, even though we had it on the PS2. I still have it on PS2. I got another copy. We played it on the PSP. It was so good that I went to go get it again on the PSP and the PS2. Bought them both in the same week.
The game has so many things to offer. Like, even if freshening up after 2005, taking a jump forward, it still even gave us something even new that it introduced where we were allowed to connect the PSP to the PlayStation 2 and actually do something
and
with
you can import your season mode
or your characters.
And you can get exclusive unlockables and move them into the thing, which I'll explain when we get to the 2007 how that made it special. Also, 2006 was the first game you could actually fight for titles in exhibition mode. Because in the previous game, like Shut Your Mouth, for instance, the only title you could fight for was the hardcore title in the
Not even
match.
in 2005.
The only time else you could fight for titles was in season mode.
All right. I think we explained enough about 2006.
All right. For any fanboys or any fucking fan people, they're gonna hate me for this.
Go for it.
I'm putting No Mercy at B. And for those of you who don't know, No Mercy is the brain, the love child of the entire internet community because you can mod the shit out of it. The game's still moddable to this day. And everybody says it's the greatest game ever. I played it. I don't think so.
Andy, I'm gonna have a heart attack.
No Mercy goes at B because, the fucking... wait, why are we missing the Raw games for the PSX?
Huh?
Why are we missing the Raw games for the PSX?
Aren't they right there?
No, that's got Goldberg on it.
Oh, I don't know. They're not there.
Well, they probably end up at season B anyway. But anyways, okay, No Mercy's gonna have to take the sins of those games then. So, No Mercy I put at... you know what? Move No Mercy to C. No Mercy was just not my cup of coffee, right? And I learned every fucking wrestling game as fluent as possible. And I played this game. I played both the original version and I played somebody's modded version where you can mod the characters and import their movesets. Like, the most updated version I played of it was when the Shield had just come out to the WWE. Somebody imported the Shield. And I saw fucking Dean Ambrose fucking model, and I was just like, oh, this looks pretty cool. I played this in, and I couldn't figure out how to fucking do anything. And instead of doing a fucking DDT like I thought, fucking Dean Ambrose did a Hurricanrana. I'm just like, what? What the fuck? And the problem was because whoever modded Dean Ambrose forgot that when you mod the model of who you're modding, you kind of have to fuck with the moves in the script. If you don't mess with the script character, you're kind of just pointing at a dead fucking model.
Oh.
Yeah, it's confusing, but if you played it, you'd know. The only reason people like this game is because of the modding to it. But the problem is, anybody who didn't play it, they're still going to say it's the best game because everybody else says it. I'm here to tell you, I played it. It ain't that great.
All right. So, I have one for B. So then this was tough, but I kind of understand it has to go to B because I feel like it is. I'm gonna go with All Stars for B. The game is still fun. You can't admit it's not fun. It's hilarious as shit. But you know, it's not a WWE game where it falls on the others, but it's still a B.
I would probably move All Stars to C because it's again one of those games you either hate it or you like it. It's not generally good. It's not generally bad. The problem was it basically brought back the tacky arcade fucking fighting style from Shut Your Mouth and that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was super fucking fun to play. But it wasn't seriously competitive.
Uh-huh.
Like for instance, I remember when we first played it with Josh. Josh was like this OP person with Sheamus, right? Then once we figured out how to fucking play, he wasn't so unbeatable anymore. And basically the only thing that saved the game was the fact that you could fucking, have these dream matches and sequences.
Exactly. And the only reason, like...
Cutscenes made the game. The game did not make itself.
The only thing I didn't like about the game was that the creativity for the created character was very slacked off.
It was very limited, just like 2K15.
Yep.
You could only copy from what the fucking superstars had.
You didn't miss much. This is the chart so far, Jesse. You haven't missed much. Your turn.
All right, I'm moving. You know what? We're probably gonna move.
You gonna kill Andy?
No. I've been talking about games that have been bad. Let me talk about another good one. No, I'm sorry. We're gonna talk about a bad one. WWE 12 F.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Now,
how the hell did we go from B all the way to F?
This is why. Notice, guys, 2K20 is not on this fucking list, and I would put this in a do not touch. 2K20 deserves to be in a do not touch zone. It is very bad, but I still have it. 2K WWE 12 is the only game in WWE history that I ever fucking returned. Why? Because it was buggy, it was bad, the fucking creativity was bullshit, the universe mode was confusing, the creative arenas was boring, the entrances were shitty, but after, because like I said, let me tell you what I did with that game. I bought it around Christmas time. I didn't get it for Christmas, I bought it because I wanted to play something for winter break. I returned it 2 days after I had it. I gave it to GameStop for Left 4 Dead 2 in exchange because I was told it was worth $20. That new game that had come out in October it came out in November. It was the first wrestling game to break fucking curfew. Because normally wrestling games were released in October. But this game came out in November, and it fucking basically the only good that game ever brought me was the exchange I made for Left 4 Dead 2. Now, I would play the game again later in years, after what? 2K14 was around. No. I would play it a year later. Now, the roster was okay. It was fine. It was the first roster with the NXT superstar. The Nexus came out, and the music was fine. I used Mason Ryan's theme. I used fucking David Otunga's theme. Fang had his theme. But that's it. That's it. The music did not make the game. The game was still horrible. Brock Lesnar made his return in this game, and I didn't even give a shit about him. Even when he F5'd me some random ass match in the universe mode to say I unlocked him. I didn't give a fuck. I didn't give a fuck Doomsday was in the game. I didn't give a fuck about. I don't even know who. I'm sorry, the name is not even Doomsday. What's it, Doomsday? Axe and Smash. The Demolition. Demolition, there you go. That's their name. Demolition. Look at that. I don't even know their fucking names. But yeah, that game deserves to be an F because it's the only game in wrestling history that I actually had to get up and return. The only thing that could have possibly saved this had I played the season mode. Had I played the season mode, because Johnny played the season mode, I didn't. Yeah. Had I played the season mode,
you didn't miss
maybe much. I would have probably kept it, but I did not. But a season mode is not going to make this game. This game was basically the 2K20 of the last decade. And WWE 13 crashed a lot, and I still kept that. I bought the game 8 times.
Oh my lord. Okay, so back to me again. All right, so I have another B. I'm not sure how Boo was gonna fall on this one. We'll see. I mean, I've played it a lot. I can honestly say it was good, but there was just some stuff I guess that wasn't that great to me. But I'm not too sure, so let's find out.
Hmm.
2007.
I
I enjoyed
I
2006.
would go with that one. Yeah.
2006 still for me, like the season and the story kind of felt, because there was some stories that just didn't make sense in 2007 that were just
That
kind
was
of like
the point. But here's the thing about 2007. 2007 was funny because it was the first time Eddie Guerrero wasn't in the game, right? But for those of you who don't know, Eddie Guerrero wasn't in the PS2 version, but he was in the PSP version on their Hall of Fame. And
Yeah.
if you exchanged the PSP version and swapped and imported your data from the PSP to the PS2, you could unlock Eddie Guerrero that way.
Yeah.
But 2007's season mode was so out there, it felt so good. See, but that's the thing. That's what saves the game as well. The season mode.
Yep.
I think the only reason why the game would get a B was because of how drastic the controls changed.
Yep,
The
that too, man.
controls
The
got
controls,
changed.
the mechanics somewhat were very like
Because from
jumpy.
SmackDown Shut Your Mouth to 2006, the controls were. I mean, they changed the fucking. They would change a little bit here and there, but the 2007 introduced way too much, way too fast, and it took me to 2009 to figure out everything from the dragging controls to the fucking the object things to change. It was difficult.
Think
The
of
game
it
was
this
fun.
way. Think of it this way, Jesse. Every game that you see here came out at a certain year. So each game is like a year, and we're going by and seeing which of these games where they belong, and pretty much what did it do for us back
What
then?
impact did it leave?
Yeah, what impacted us to give us the grade? Because we've played most of these titles. And most of these, believe it or not, some of the old ones are actually still better than the generation ones that we've had for the past several years. That's why you notice some of the ones that came from like last year or 2018 are still not up there because we're still going through like several of them. And I believe it's Booba's turn now, so.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm about to fix that.
Oh no.
Here's a game that I never could figure out if I liked it or hated it.
Which one?
2K16.
2K16.
I would put 2K16. D's overcrowded. So I might have to put it a C.
2016. I have some very like shady memories.
2016 again suffers from the same fate 2K15 did, but it did better. It did better.
2K16 is 2016, Jesse. That's pretty much why the games are named funny.
Yeah, and it was the first game we got Arnold as a fucking pre-order. We got Arnold from fucking Terminator 1 and Arnold from Terminator 2, who was overpowered, might you be.
Oh yeah.
This game, I think the only thing that was better than 2K15 was the showcase.
Mm.
It was all about Austin. I fucking loved it. It was great. I played through it. The fucking season mode was way better than 2K15's. The created character was a little step up. A little step up. They brought some. They included a lot more fucking choices to create a character, but not enough for me to be like, this game is good. But no, the game belongs to C because, again, if you don't like the created characters, which is a lot of people love them, then you would enjoy the game. But if you love created characters, you're gonna feel like, again, this was one of those games where I barely scrapped by getting it. I got to make Fangs a character. I got to make Laurie's character. I got to make adjustments to my character. I got to make adjustments for everybody's character. But again, the game didn't feel like I could do enough.
Right.
I felt like there wasn't enough. The game could have been better.
Right.
And it did. 2K17.
Alright. My next one. I was gonna ask, what do we do about these two?
Actually, that was one of the next ones I was getting to, but if you want to start on them now, we can.
Yeah, let's actually
Get
do
them
that.
out of the way because I know you didn't play any of them.
No.
But I used to talk to my friend back in elementary school. His name was Chris Chu.
Uh huh.
I'm sure if you
I remember him. Yep, Michael Chu's brother.
Yeah.
Yep.
he used to talk about that game all the time because he had an Xbox, but I played fucking we had the PS2. So
Yeah.
basically, whatever I talked about SmackDown vs. Raw and Shut Your Mouth. He talked about Raw 1 and Raw 2. So basically, I would put Raw 1 maybe at an F.
Okay. And 2?
Raw 2 C.
C.
Because Raw 1 was basically, again, trying to catch up to Shut Your Mouth, didn't do it. Raw 2 was basically, they cut in. Raw 2 actually came out before Here Comes the Pain. Raw 2 was the first game with Goldberg, and Raw 2, actually, if it wasn't for Raw 2, we wouldn't have Here Comes the Pain. And Here Comes the Pain, the reason why it's not on there, guys, because there's a lot to go through.
Oh, yeah. Andy, you still alive? We didn't put your game up there, did we? Alright. My turn again, I guess, because I really... Alright.
Oh, jeez.
Alright. So, for the next one, I'm harshly debating on this one for an A or B, because I have a lot of memories on this game, and I used to play the holy hell out of it, because I had nothing else better to do with my life. Oh my god. Alright. I guess this is hard.
What are you about to do?
I already did. I put 2009 at A.
Oh.
I was debating harshly on A or B for that one. I played it so much. There was a lot of like stuff
I would
to
put
do.
it at a B.
You would put it at a B?
I love that game. It was the only game with Paul London and Brian Kendrick. It was the game where I started my rise to fame because I was just so unbeatable. It was also Johnny's rise to fame of unbeat. Me and Johnny would trade off the character of Randy Orton because this was the first game Johnny fucking started messing with different characters. Johnny was Randy Orton, and he would basically punt people, right? Until Johnny had to move to Puerto Rico. Right, so when Johnny left, I decided, you know what, I'm going to carry on this legacy. I took Randy Orton, the unbeatable Randy Orton, I beat the shit out of everybody I touched to the point I was banned from using it. I was just outright banned. And basically, it was a ban because me and Johnny weren't allowed to use Randy Orton anymore because we were unbeatable. But 2009, I loved the game because it was great. The tag team finishers were introduced. The created characters were mwah. The fucking entrances, the graphics, the season mode, the fucking Road to WrestleMania mode was not that great, but it was pretty cool regardless because we needed the season mode after the devastation that was 2008. But I'd say the thing that killed it was the created characters overall and how to bring them up. Because the created characters, you couldn't adjust them to how you wanted it to be. They were either too weak or too overpowered.
That's why I was debating on it harshly on a B or an A.
Yeah, it was to the point my uncle wanted to ban the created characters. This was this shit that he started that he wanted to ban the created characters altogether because it was either you were at 70, you were too weak, you were at 80, not enough, or you were at 100, too powerful. Also, this was the first game to introduce the creative finisher, which is responsible for most of the finisher I use today. It was the creation of how fucking it was.
Or how many times you low blow somebody?
Yeah, the Dick Kick City, the original Dick Kick City.
All right, your turn.
All right,
we're getting down to the wire now.
All right, 2K18.
Where?
I'm putting it at a B.
B for 2K18. Sorry, Andy.
2K18. Why is it a B? Oh, why is it a B? It was 2K17 with Seth Rollins on the box. Basically. The only thing, it didn't even make things better. All it did was add better DLC. That's about it. The showcase mode, I don't even think there was one. There was no showcase mode.
Nope.
There was no showcase mode. I didn't play the My Career, JD did. The season mode was questionable. It was alright. The music was very obnoxious. The music was fucking noxious. I know I could change it, but I get tired of listening to the same songs. And just wow, it was just like I can't even say much about it. That's kind of why it's at B, because it's basically 2K17 just with an updated roster. Nothing changed.
Yeah.
Nothing changed, like at all.
All right. So A.
You want an A game.
Yeah. You may disagree or you may agree, depending.
Yes, I agree. 100%.
2010, I'm pretty sure we don't even have to argue. That was one of the greatest games I've ever played in a while on the PSP.
Yeah.
Besides 2006, but
Again,
2010,
I can tell you my first experience from playing the game. I can tell you the first day. I remember a lot about that day. To be honest, I even have a picture from that first day. But basically, I was sick as fuck, right? I was sick like a fucking dog. And Josh told me he got that game, right? I told Theo. Theo came over. He's like, "Oh, buddy, Lindo, you sick?" I'm just like, "Yeah, but can I come over to play 2010?" He's just like, "You gotta wear a bandana over your mouth." I'm just like, "Fuck it, you're in. I'm in. I'm on it." So I start playing the game, and the first thing I notice is that we can basically wrestle without even having to do a match. We could set up 2 characters in the main menu screen and fucking wrestle. Also, it was Christian's first game back.
Yep.
Because Christian was in TNA, and it was his first game back. For those of you who don't know, TNA was a good game. Me and Josh will set up Christian and Edge. And we spent more time in the menu playing than in the fucking actual game. But that's how fun it was. The roster was perfect for its time.
Yeah.
The pay-per-views were perfect. The fucking Road to WrestleMania was fucking amazing.
Yeah, it was.
The fucking career mode was fucking better than fucking 2009. Or 2009 was already good as is.
The creativity too.
The creativity was fucking phenomenal because, oh my god, can we just go back to Road to WrestleMania? The fucking Road to WrestleMania let you put your created character in there and made him wrestle fucking, he basically was a retelling of Santino's story, but better. You got to wrestle Vince McMahon, wear a fucking chicken costume.
And we got to win the title.
And you got to win the Intercontinental title on your first day.
Yep.
I remember every line, every cutscene from the back of my fucking head. It was this game where I was undefeated. I started making time records of how fast I could beat somebody. Quickest time, 26 seconds. With a tombstone.
I mean, if you guys want, after this, we're gonna do another one. We can always do it on Twitch. If you guys are having issues, just let me know in the comments below. All right.
2010. It was just such a perfect fucking game.
That's why I say it's an A. It's not an S.
It's not an S because there's so much that could have been done better, which it was. But yeah, because had universe mode, which was in 2011, which we haven't put up yet. Had universe mode been in 2010, it probably would have been an S.
I'll let you know what we're gonna do next, because I'm not trying to say it out loud because I want to see Boo's expression, but I do have another one that we're gonna do.
All right, you go.
All right.
Or was it? Wait.
It's your turn. I chose 2010. We are down to 9 games, and out of 9 of them,
I'm just gonna knock this one right out the gate. Put WrestleMania 18 under that.
Really?
Had it been the Game Boy version, I would have put it at a D.
But I'm thinking it is. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, because it's imagine if Survivor Series was on there. WWE Survivor Series. That game was good.
Shit, if we had the NES versions up in here, I would have put Royal Rumble at B, man. No, but WrestleMania 18. Had it been the Royal Rumble version, I would have put it at a D or a C, because for the Game Boy Advance, it was fucking hilarious to play and fun. It was fun, especially the Royal Rumble. If you got suplexed the wrong way, you were eliminated.
All right.
But WrestleMania 18 is just an F because it was basically a really bad watered down version of Shut Your Mouth.
All right. So I have a C. I'm going to go with just.
Don't know. You leave that right there. I got plans for that.
You have plans for that one?
I got plans for that game.
Okay.
You're about to make a mistake, son.
Okay. So I'll go with SmackDown 2.
All right.
Let's see.
SmackDown 2 could be a C. It was. I couldn't figure out the controls.
That's why.
I couldn't figure out the controls. It was basically. I mean, had WrestleMania had what? Had WWE Attitude or Warzone been on this, I would have put it at a D. Because I tried playing Attitude as much as I could. Johnny had Attitude for the PlayStation. Johnny had Warzone for the PlayStation. He had both of them. No, wait. He had Warzone. I had Attitude.
Yeah, that's how it was. Yep.
I played Attitude on the PSX. It was okay, but I couldn't figure out the fucking controls there either. There was fucking.
The controls to this one completely didn't make no sense.
You had to press up, down. You had to press up,
Yes, he says, okay.
down twice, L, R, and then right again to do a suplex. Mind you, in 2010, all you got to do for that is press up circle at the same time. But no, we're talking about SmackDown 2, and the problem was the controls were pretty weird, and to fucking make a tag, you kind of fucked up. And the game types were great, but they took some game types out from fucking SmackDown 1. Not only that, the only thing that I liked about SmackDown 2 was that Limp Bizkit was a fucking unlockable character. The fucking unlockable characters shouldn't have been unlockable characters. They should have been like, fucking unlockable characters.
Don't worry.
Pat Patterson.
Everything's going well. Everything's almost done, so you don't have to worry.
Because, like, I played SmackDown 1 and 2, the thorough, like, solutions right around the time I was playing 2011 for the PSP. And I didn't like the unlockables. I mean, like, if I was a kid playing the game, I wouldn't have cared. But, like, I was an adult playing the game, and for a game to be good, you have to be able to play it. You have to have fun as an adult and as a kid. If you can't pick up the game and want to play it
because
as an adult,
if you play it before and it's fun, and you play it now as an
and
adult,
it's just like,
and
what
still,
the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah, but if it's still fun, then you obviously make the right choice.
Now, then yeah, it's a good game. But if you pick it up as a kid and you're just like, okay, yay, play. As an adult, you're just like, I can play something better. Then no, then yeah, you gotta see. You either hate the game or you love the game.
Pretty much. Okay. So.
All right,
Your
I
turn.
just spoke about this game. I'm gonna put 2000. You know what? No. Let's break the curse. We'll go to 2K19.
I was actually thinking about the same thing. I was gonna put it somewhere between B or C. Cause
no, I'm gonna put 19 at A.
Really?
Yup. You know why it's at A? Because it's not 2K20. I will fucking.
I mean, 19 it's still better than 2K20.
2K19 is now going to be living infamy as the game that survived. Because here's the thing. Because I know what we're going to we're both definitely putting it at S. Right? We had 5 years past that game. And this is the game that saved the fucking company. Because we had to go through 15, which was terrible. We had to do from 16, which was basically the same, but just a little better. 17 got it done. 18 was fucking still the same, but then 19 upgraded everything. 19 got the DLCs right. 19 got the music right. 19 got the roster right. 19 got the creative fucking customizations right. 19 was just on point. And then 2K20 comes out and fucking wrecks everything. So 2K19 gets to live in infamy as the game that saved 2K and is now going to be the game of 2K's last stand. It was 2K's last chance to fucking make a wrestling game as great as they could. 2K19, even though it wasn't that different from 2K17 and 18, it did get a lot of things better.
Because I'm pretty much the only person who actually has done this list. Me and we were literally the only people who's doing this list. I mean, it will save a lot of people if everybody's trying to figure out which WWE game is far superior, in our opinion, because legit, it'll save you a lot of time.
Just, if you had people coming up in here, they'd probably fucking tell you a dumbass for putting No Mercy at C. But you know what? You the dumbass that want to fucking.
I mean, right now, we are down to 6 games. And these 6 games are nowhere even close to this generation's years.
These 6 games, they're all going to go. These 6 games are going to end up in a fucking separate section from themselves. They're not all going up in one section.
No.
Not all of them are good. Not all of them are bad.
No. All right, so it's my turn again. This one's going to be tough. Okay. So I have another A for us. You may or you may disagree. I don't know. But I was also debating on a B for this one as well, too. So
Yeah, I would put it at A.
2011, I have a lot of memories because it was a game that we played a lot on the PSP more than anything.
Yep, it was the PSP game.
Yeah.
It was the PSP game because in around this time, for some reason, 2011 was having this issue, or I don't know if it was the game or the Xbox, where data was just being erased for some reason. So we couldn't ever get a stable data to play on the Xbox where we usually played it with our cousin. But for PSP, God, we spent hours on it. I created Alberto Del Rio fucking perfectly. I created Sin Cara perfectly. I spent all my fucking time playing Universe Mode. The only thing I didn't touch in 2011 was the Road to WrestleMania, but it's not fair to 2011 because the only reason why I couldn't touch the Road to WrestleMania was because it kept freezing, but it was the PSP's problem, not the fucking game.
Right.
So I can't talk from the Road to WrestleMania standpoint. But
Road to
the game
WrestleMania
itself
had
was
like
just-
Mickey James and shit.
yeah, no, actually Mickey James was in 2010.
Are you sure?
Yep.
I thought it was 11.
2011 had Christian. It had the created character story with the Undertaker. It had Rey Mysterio and Jack Swagger. That's as much as I can remember.
Don't feel
But
bad.
I basically spent most of my majority playing Universe Mode. It was so perfect. You could switch around the titles for the fucking Universe Mode. You can't create your own show yet because that was introduced in 2K13 and WWE13. But yeah, it was just it basically it was also the last SmackDown vs. Raw game. It was the game that ended the fucking amazing, because if you notice so far, and it's not gonna change. Every SmackDown vs. Raw game that's on this list has not made it past B. B, SmackDown vs. Raw game, it is light. Nobody does not. Okay, I'm sorry. SmackDown vs. Raw 2008's there, but that's not SmackDown vs. Raw. That's SmackDown vs. Raw and ECW. That don't count.
Yeah.
So everything else besides that one above C because everybody still picks
SmackDown vs. Raw was probably one of the only WWE franchise video games out there that literally had everything to offer, even if it was new and they kind of like added characters and didn't add characters. The game was still good for what it was worth because they improved.
It was the first game you could actually like dip time into. You could put time into that game and have it feel like your own fucking.
Yeah, and those were games that weren't even on this generation's consoles. Just imagine if we had challenges.
Actually, it was. It was on Xbox 360 and it was on PS3. But the problem was that just people generally liked the PSP versions better because it was so easy to pick up and just be like, man, I want to fucking do this. It was perfect. It was just. It got the flow going for what becomes WWE, and it was just the rest of the games because of Universe Mode. Universe Mode was so like, it was there, but then you had people still asking for the GM modes, which we didn't even talk about. The GM modes that were in 2006, 2007, and in 2008. The GM modes was the only thing in 2011 that people wanted, but we got Universe Mode, and then that's what saved it.
All right. Your turn. We have 5 left. Andy's having a. Which one?
No. I think it's time. SmackDown versus Raw. S slot.
I had a feeling. I mean, I can't. Literally, it's obvious. SmackDown vs. Raw started off something that will later continue on for 11 years straight. That was something that you could never get bored of. And the storylines from then on forward were amazing. But 2005 SmackDown vs. Raw was just still better in most of everybody's opinion, including ours, because SmackDown vs. Raw, when it first debuted, it was a fresh game. It was like, they had their mind in the right place, and it just looked completely good for a PlayStation 2 game. Like, the game itself provided so much that there was just so much you could do between the season mode being the great that it was, There was so many good storylines. Besides the fact that you couldn't hear most of the talking, but that's
Yeah.
beside it.
We got that in 2006.
Like,
That's
that-
okay. I didn't
that-
mind.
That
I
game.
mean, it was the first. Yeah, actually, no. Actually, SmackDown vs. Raw was the first game we got voice acting for the characters, just not the characters we were using. If you weren't any character that wasn't your character and it was in season mode, you could hear speak, which was cool. The season mode was cool. The graphics were great. It basically upgraded from Here Comes the Pain, but the only reason, it was just.
SmackDown vs.
It
Raw
was
was
so
just.
fucking amazing, even from the freaking.
It's literally,
first
you look
opening
at it
moments.
now, you still will get more hype just by looking at the intro.
Looking at the intro. From
The intro.
Fucking Last Night on Earth playing through the fucking.
I mean,
the
it
intro
was
so
Raw and
perfect.
SmackDown. It was legit a bragging rights game where you would actually choose. It wasn't just saying it for
And
no.
the first question in the game: what do you
Well,
like, SmackDown or
Raw,
Raw? Based on the
exactly.
answer you give, that's the main menu you get.
Exactly. It wasn't one of those games that literally the title's just there and then they have the characters. No, they literally ask you what you like and you get put there and you just work your way from there. The game was just good, and you look at it many years later. Even now, the game still has very high,
And here's
memories.
the thing: there are people that are gonna be like, there are some people that are gonna be like, and this is why I talk about these two on the bottom. The soundtrack to 2005 SmackDown vs. Raw.
Yup.
The soundtrack was so fucking amazing that people are just like, man, you just like the game because of the soundtrack. I'm just like, no, because if that was the case, Day of fucking Reckoning would be higher. But no, Day of Reckoning had the same soundtrack and it's shit.
Yeah.
Day of Reckoning was nowhere near as good as SmackDown vs. Raw. SmackDown vs. Raw, by all means, is not a perfect game. But it is a game that is just, it set the standard. It raised the standards from SmackDown Shut Your Mouth. It raised the standard from Here Comes the Pain. And it crushed it completely. The only thing that could have maybe was not as good as it was the hardcore mode. But that's where another game thrives in. And that's also why it's a perfect game. But yeah. SmackDown vs. Raw, one of the greatest games. Again, still have the fucking game. Still have the copy. Fucking amazing game. Oh,
Because
and you
of
can
your
also make
momentum
your own
slots.
pay-per-views. But the only way you can define and it also lets you create titles.
Jesse, because of your momentum slots, that's why your tier went down.
You could also create your own titles, but the only way to defend them is if you had another memory card and did it on your own pay-per-view. I mean, it wasn't that great, but again, it was upgraded later in the games.
All right. So we have one S so far. We're about to have a second one. So I'm going to go ahead and get this over with.
I would say that one for last. But yeah, go ahead. Get it out of the way.
Might as well. This game, there's just so much to talk about this game, to
Everybody
be honest.
in the world agrees this is number
2K14, by far one of the best 2K games we've ever played. This game had everything. What did it not have? The one thing that it had that the others lacked on that could have been good, but yet this still falls under its own little category for that reason. The custom soundtracks. The custom soundtracks, the creativity, everything just felt right into place, and it felt so right. It made the game so much more fun.
This game is still so fucking perfect. It had everything. This was the height of the 2K roster. It was the last game THQ did, because for those of you who don't know, every game on this list, besides anything past 2K14, was not by THQ. Every other game was THQ in some sort of fashion. 2K14 was just so fucking perfect. Nothing could beat it, and people will still tell you, I would not touch a new game. I will always go back to 2K14. And the problem is because you can make renders. If you wanted a superstar from nowadays, let's choose Andrade for instance. If you wanted Andrade, you could basically have a render. You can get a picture from online, put it in a USB, upload it to the PS3 or the Xbox, and you'd have a perfect picture of Andrade as a created character on that thing with his entrance, with his moveset. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Not only that, the fucking road, the fucking showcase, which I don't remember what it was, was, but it was an entire showcase of the history of WrestleMania.
Yes, it was.
That, and you had to fight the fucking Undertaker.
Yeah.
Which is where majority of people, went to challenge.
Uh-huh.
2K14 withstands the time as the #1 wrestling game of all time.
Mm-hmm. And it's because, like we said, like there's just so much with this game that you could possibly do even now, create more ideas, more or less, that you can't even do in 2K20. Which they went from, if you notice, 2K14 being the best, you'll notice that everything after that
Everything
somewhat
else
falls
just keeps
under.
going down.
Exactly,
Notice,
because literally
2K14, 2K19's at A, 17 and 18 are at B, 16 and 13 are at C, 15's D, and
12 is
12
all
is
the way in
F.
F. And if 20 was there, it would be
20
under
would
do
be
not
don't
play.
touch.
Yeah, exactly. So literally, 2K14 for us is still one of the best games, along with SmackDown vs. Raw. That will never change in any given time of the year, no matter how old we are. It's not going to change because that game was spot on. It was polished right, and it was just one of those games you can never say that it was bad. There was nothing bad about the game. There really wasn't. The game had everything that everybody wanted. The customizations, the custom soundtracks, the soundtracks to the game were very good. The Road to WrestleMania, like he explained, everything, including fighting the Undertaker, everything in the game had everything spot on that
one
game.
thing was fucking. I played that game from the moment. From the moment I unwrapped it in Christmas. I remember this stuff. I remember I got upset because I thought the music was bullshit.
Uh-huh.
And I went to sleep. I was so depressed. I went to sleep. I done thought this game was shit already. But then I woke up. I was just like, I needed a nap. I woke up. Johnny's just like, what are you gonna do? I'm just like, I got on my laptop, started fucking getting music, uploaded it to the fucking Xbox, and immediately the game went from trash to being the absolute most perfect thing you could.
Yeah, because you customize your own playlist, which make things so much more comfortable and better.
I made so many fucking playlists for this game. I even made playlists ready for 2K15 until that fucking wrecked everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 2K15 is still a failure.
Yeah, because it moved up, so literally things just didn't go well and sit well.
You leaving already, Bushra? Okay. Thank you.
All right, boo. We got 3 more titles left.
All right, we're gonna move SmackDown.
Which one?
PlayStation. B.
Just bring it?
Yep. No.
I was gonna put that on B earlier.
B. Actually, I think we should rearrange 1 and 2. I think 2 deserves to be a B. 1 deserves to be a C. Because C upgraded, while 1, rearrange them. Number 1 is C, number 2 is B. Because B was not at all a bad game, like I was saying before, but it did upgrade from what was C.
It was just the controls.
Yeah, C wasn't that bad, but it was way better than fucking Attitude. I mean, the controls were still confusing, but they weren't as confusing as Attitude, which again, up, down, L, left, twice, then right did a suplex.
It was pretty much
SmackDown, it was down, forward, circle, and the R2 button holding it. That did a DDT. So, and then to do the finisher, smash buttons, I guess.
All right.
So remember.
So, we have 2 left. So,
Which one I'll take.
Well, you just literally...
Just bring it.
Mm-hmm.
Do not touch.
Holy shit! Oh,
Just
shit!
Bring It was the most claustrophobic experience I ever had as a fucking kid and an adult. When we were kids, that was the first wrestling game Joshua fucking had, but I never got to fucking play it. Why? Because for those of you who had a PS2, you know the red screen.
Oh.
That red screen appeared every time, even though the disc was in perfect fucking shape. 1. 2, it was because life was trying to shield me from the disaster that this game was. Later, when I was 13 years old, I fucking found this game in GameStop, and I bought it. Biggest mistake of my life. Popped that shit in, and I'm watching the intro, and I'm hearing bodies hit the ground by fucking SmackDown, the original theme song. I'm just like, yeah, looking at the graphics. I can't fucking wait. I played 1 match with Josh and Jr. I got a fucking headache. The graphics were terrible. The fucking buttons, I'm just like, what the fuck happened? The buttons were terrible. The fucking mechanics were terrible. Fucking characters fell off the ladders like if they were paper. I felt like I was playing a fucking I felt like I was playing some fucking N64 bootleg that tried to be a Game Boy. Like, the fucking match types, there were barely any.
Yeah,
There were barely
the
any match
roster
types.
itself, there was barely any.
The
too.
fucking season mode was bullshit, and if you even got to save it, because the season mode, you had to go through a whole month before you could fucking save it. And the season mode was BS. The stories were shit. The stories were shit. Like, for instance, The Rock would come talking about the same. You could be in a rivalry with The Rock, and he'd still be talking about Triple H because that's what was written in his script.
Shit.
The fucking disaster that this game was. If you got it to work, it was a travesty. If you got it to work, it was a travesty. Because the game had problems because the discs, the fucking lasers in the PS2 couldn't read them correctly. So if you got them to work, congratulations, you still get to experience how bad the game was. That game was the first 2K20. That game, you either fucking got it to work and it sucked, or you got shields from the disaster that it was and just thought, oh, I guess I'm never going to get to play
Yeah,
this.
if Andy left, that means Andy don't get no tokens. I think Andy died after that one. That was probably like I don't think he was expecting that one.
No, fuck that game. Fuck that game, dude. I couldn't play that shit. Bring Junior here, he'll fucking tell you the same shit. I fucking hate that game. That game made me puke. Junior got a stomachache later in the day. Joshua fucking died. Joshua went to sleep.
Yo, Joshua would have came today, I swear to God.
No, fucking, I'll tell you why. Because we fucking, like I said, we went to GameStop. Each one of three of us, we fucking bought games. I bought Shut Your Mouth. Josh bought fucking Here Comes the Pain. Junior bought fucking Just Bring It. And what happened? We played Just Bring It first. We fucking took it off. We all got headaches. We said, okay, let's take a break. Let's go eat. And we'll fucking play Shut Your Mouth. And then we thought, okay, maybe we were just feeling sick because we just got home from school. Let's go pop and Just Bring It. Joshua called me a fucking asshole for making me play that game again. We fucking hated the game. The game was bullshit, and we ended up fucking giving it back to GameStop the next day. Fucking Junior threw it at Eric. He said, don't make me play this shit. And Eric's just like, you're the one that paid the $4. I don't want to play the $4. That game's not even worth $4. That game's not even worth... Whoever fucking gave this game to someone for Christmas or birthday, they hate you. They fucking hate you. And they wanted you to suffer. Again, this game was probably the beginning of the coronavirus.
I think this was like the longest we talked about a game.
I told you I had shit to say about this game. How dare you want to put this game at a B? How dare you?
I didn't know you had mixed feelings about that game.
No, I don't have mixed feelings. I have fucking hatred. This game made me sick. This game gave me fucking headaches. The graphics made me physically ill, bro.
And he is probably so dead.
Bro,
yo,
this
Andy.
game, not even that. I hit a finisher. I hit the spear. I think what was a spear, because I'm not sure what the fuck Edge did. It looked like a tackle or fucking headbutt, but they called it a spear. I hit Josh with the spear and he no-sold it. Jeff Hardy got right back up. He just rolled backwards. I was just like, what the fuck, bro? This is like what you guys see now as a hit detection problem in 2K games where you hit the character and they just fall down and be like, oh, I guess I missed the hitbox. No, that was the hitbox in fucking Just Bring It. If you hit somebody, they no-sold it. The hitbox was broken. The characters didn't stun. The characters didn't take hit fucking effects. It was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Even the commentary was fucking bad. The commentary was fucking terrible. Absolutely terrible. The entrances were terrible. They were just fucking their name in the background.
I knew doing this for him would be this great. I had a feeling because it's more fun having another person's opinion discussion about all of this stuff. Because when I first saw this, I literally knew it was gonna end right. I had a feeling.
No! This fucker got back at me. His fucking Just Bring It.
Why?
His fucking relative sitting in my goddamn room.
Ooh.
Fucking, he got it, man. I don't know what happened. I bet the same people who made this bastard disaster of a game are the people responsible for 2K20. Just Bring It. This Decade Edition is sitting in my fucking room, laughing at me for spending $80 fucking bucks. You spent $4 on me. You spent 80 now. Like, no.
I mean, at least now we know, like, literally, like, wow. And then we have one game. And we already know where that game's going. Obviously. I know.
Officially, before we start, this officially tells the story of every fucking generation this game had. For those of you who haven't noticed, SmackDown has its own line of games. SmackDown vs. Raw has its own line of games. WWE has their own line of games. The 2Ks have their own line of games. And the ones that ended up in S were the top 3 of those generations.
Mm-hmm.
Out
Literally.
of all the 2Ks, 14 was the best. Out of all the SmackDowns, 2005 was the best. Out of all the SmackDowns, Here Comes the Pain was the best.
Literally, you guys gotta understand something though. Like, the S rank games that we chose isn't just because. It's because if you touch those games, you'll understand why. Those games back then and still now provide so much more gameplay and value that literally that is the main reason why they're up there. Because you see the newer games now are even below that. And the lowest, like the most youngest title of the 3 from the S is Here Comes the Pain. Because that was released, what, before SmackDown vs. Raw?
It was released in 2004.
It was a year before
Actually,
SmackDown.
2003.
So it was released 2 years before SmackDown vs. Raw came out, which was 2005.
2005 came out in 2004. Came out in November.
So that is the youngest of the 3, and yet it's up there as well too because of what it had to offer. I mean, the roster was great, the soundtracks were good, the customization was good, you know. But remember, it's an old game, so we couldn't expect much.
From SmackDown, from the original PS1 version, from SmackDown, yeah, okay, it wasn't the great, but it was a step up from fucking Attitude. SmackDown 2, step up. SmackDown just fucking bring it. No! First PS2 game. Fuck no! What happened? Shut Your Mouth comes out 2 years later. Holy shit. Now we're moving in the right direction. This game is fucking fun. Everything about it was fun. Just Bring It. Updates the fucking roster. Adds more shit.
Andy
the
gets
graphics
10.
look insanely fucking better. This game is in the right direction. Out comes SmackDown vs. Raw. What the fuck is this streak? Like, the games just started from SmackDown Shut Your Mouth. The games just skyrocketed and they did not stop until they hit 2008. That's when the streak stopped. But just Here Comes the Pain. Everybody still considers one of the best. They still consider it the best because of the arcade mechanics. The games were just meant for us to pick up and play and have fun. But as the games progressed, it was more about the games became the love of the fans. And they try to create their own universe.
That's
worlds.
exactly where they lost the direction of the games.
But see, that's also where they thrive too, because I myself am a huge wrestling fan. But ever since because I can't play the games, I'm not entitled. I don't feel like I want to watch wrestling anymore. I don't feel like I want to do Supercard anymore. I don't feel as much as a wrestling fan as I did unless I want to be in a wrestling world myself. And those games are the only thing I have to be in a wrestling game. Just Here Comes the Pain was still in its time of being the fun wrestling game where you can fucking ride a motorcycle and take somebody by the throat and drop them. You can fight on a fucking helicopter and watch a person fall 100 feet out of the air and not die and just watch bobble up and down on the fucking ground. Or you could fucking, oh my god. Sean O'Hare, his only game, Sean O'Hare, his only fucking game he got to appear in was amazing. The characters themselves were amazing. The Hall of Fame characters started coming out. That's where we started moving in the right direction. The season mode was great. I mean, it wasn't as great as Shut Your Mouth, but it was still great. still, the fucking storyline was just phenomenal. There's nothing bad about SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. SmackDown Here Comes the Pain was the top of the mechanics at the time. Still fun to play with at this moment. There's never a bad day you could ever play with this game. It was just so many. Even the unlockables from season mode were fucking perfect. And the fucking little nitbits you got to read about during the loading screens was fucking perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Oh. So, guys,
Fuck SmackDown, just bring it.
that's pretty much the list that we have for you. I mean, we had a lot of comments and everything. It was fucking great. I expected a lot. I mean, Andy was probably the only one who died like 2 different times of the choices you picked, but I think he died throughout the entire round. Just bring it.
What, was that his favorite?
No, I don't know, but he got it right though. He guessed the right title to be an S. He said "Here Comes the Pain." So
yeah, because like I said, most people will agree. More people will agree about 2K14 and Here Comes the Pain being an S, but more people will tell you that No Mercy deserves to be in the S, and I don't think so. I think people who talk about No Mercy being S have never played it. I think they're just saying it because everybody else says it, and I don't think it was that fun to play on the N64 because we had WrestleMania 2000 for the N64.
2K14's all the way at the top, Lorne. It's an S.
WrestleMania 2000
it's right here.
We had for the fucking WrestleMania 2000 we had for the N64, and it was the only wrestling game we had, and it was fun and all, but not something I'd actually go pick up. Just like No Mercy. I have Here Comes the Pain. I have SmackDown vs. Raw. I have 2006. I have 2007. I will not go pick up No Mercy and go pick up an N64 or fucking emulate it into the PC and want to play it. I just don't. I don't understand the buttons. Not only that, the fucking I don't want to do it. I'd rather play 2K6. I'd rather play 2K20. Again, you like No Mercy? By all means, go play the game, but not here.
Alright, so guys, that was the list for WWE. I know a lot of you guys didn't, well, some of you guys didn't know, but a lot of you guys did, and you guys enjoyed the hell out of this. This was fun. We have another list that we're going to be doing shortly. I know some of you guys have been asking what the list is going to be exactly, so, let's see here. Okay. Alright, boom. So I have a couple of more lists that we can do. So I'm gonna actually ask the stream and you and see what you guys want to do. You guys want us to rank the best to worst WWE champions of all time? Do you guys want us to do the Dragon Ball games? Rate the Tekken 7 characters? Or, there's plenty of stuff.
No, I don't think we can do Tekken characters. I don't play enough of them to be ranking them. I'd be too biased.
It don't matter. It's a tier list for the reason. It's where you place them.
Yeah, but the problem with making a tier list is how well people think they're effective in competitive play, not on casual
We could just
play.
think of something. I don't know. I already did Resident Evil.
Dragon Ball games.
We do, huh?
I would say the Dragon Ball games because if
And
you're
then
gonna talk WWE champions, we gotta go through a long list.
What? Resident Evil 3 got S tier. I also have Resident Evil characters. His smirk, bro. Holy shit.
I wouldn't mind that one.
I also have Mega Man X, the Mega Man X series.
Ooh, I wouldn't know about that one. If it was the
If
entire
not, I'll
Mega Man
probably
series,
do that one myself because I have touched them except for like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But definitely, I have Tekken 7. I have the Mortal Kombat 11 characters. I have the Street Fighter 5 characters. I have Dragon Ball games. I think I have the Dragon Ball characters, but from Dragon Ball Fighters, ranking wise. They also had one for Yu-Gi-Oh, but I didn't find it. But I will find it, like main protagonist stuff and WWE champions, like all time. So, which one you want to do next?
Let's not do the WWE champions.
Okay.
Because I don't want to talk about Bruno Sammartino. I don't know who
I don't even know if he's on the list. It's by whoever's on the list.
Exactly. They
I
could
don't
be
know
like-
who's on the list.
Fucking Jinder Mahal could be on that list. and all that.
Probably even Jeff Hardy.
Again.
Hey, we could kill David and Andy with Jeff Hardy.
Again, 3MB.
He'll be an F.
As of now, 3MB is one of the most successful fucking stables in WWE history.
Do WWE champions? Do you even dare do one with Final Fantasy? Do I even dare do one with Final Fantasy? I don't even know
What's
if
the
one
Final
exists.
Fantasy?
That's a good question. Final Fantasy characters or Final Fantasy games? Because if we're talking about characters, we're gonna be here all night. Because
Yeah,
I
if
think
it's
they give us
games-
hundreds.
Yeah, if it's games, I can do that.
Do Tekken? They're asking us to do Tekken characters from Tekken 7. And then
I would say either between the Resident Evil characters or DBZ.
okay.
Final Fantasy.
All right, guys, it's up to you guys. So Boo Boo threw it down. Boo Boo says either the Dragon Ball
like
games.
I said, Tekken 7 is biased territory. I cannot give you an
So
official
we're
opinion.
either doing the Dragon Ball Z games next, or we're doing the Resident Evil characters, ranking them. And he said Mickey Mouse S tier for Final Fantasy. He's like, don't you even dare. So what's it gonna be, guys?
Crazy guy yells at cats go.
Yeah, yo, that shit.
What
Yo, that shit was. Yo, that shit was dumb as funny. Cause he took his drink and he's like, get over here. Get down. Yeah. Do MK11, but Boo Boo hasn't played MK11.
I will not. You know what? In fact, I'll just make a fucking honorary mention. You know where MK11 could go? Right next to fucking Just Bring It.
All right, guys. If you guys don't decide between Dragon Ball and that, Boo Boo will decide. Resident Evil characters or Dragon Ball Z? Which is it gonna be? And then, do I do it on Twitch or do I do it on YouTube? Lorny, he doesn't want to do Tekken because, he doesn't want to rank the characters because he doesn't play with them all. But I'll probably do those another time. Resident Evil on Twitch. Damn, chill though with the Final Fantasy. Holy crap. I mean, we already know who the best one is, right? Just put Moogle at S rank,
Like
that's
I
it.
said, Final Fantasy I can do because I know most of the games.
Yeah, but it depends on how many they throw at us, bro. We don't even know how many. Anyways,
Take a chance.
all right. So they told us to do Resident Evil characters. So I guess after the characters, we can do Dragon Ball.
Okay.
So
Again, reason why I can't do Tekken is because it favoritism.
okay, guys, we're switching over to Twitch. This stream will continue on Twitch. So I will see you guys on Twitch in a bit. Just give me a minute, and I'll have everything set up.